You're a startup founder. You think your product is amazing and feel like more people should be buying, but the road is long and slow. It feels like you're stuck. There's always one thing I ask startup founders. Have you talked to your customers? They almost always say, heck yes, we talk to our customers all the time. But what I find is they're either selling or trying to improve their product. These are not customer-focused conversations. If we can get curious about our customers, then we can uncover critical insights that will help us build to the next round. I'm Anna Firmenov, and welcome to Building with Buyers, a show about startup growth where I'll explore how customers help startups build to the next round.
Hey listener, it's Anna, and today I want to talk about something I've been quietly refining over the last 5 years working with founders and marketing teams. It's called whole person customer research, and it's the foundation for how I help clients get clarity on their positioning, messaging, and go-to-market and content strategy. So when I say customer research, most people nod along. Yes, of course. They'll say, we talk to our customers all the time. They've done some product user interviews. They're talking to customers in Slack to help with issues. They're talking to prospects on sales calls. Those aren't customers, by the way. Maybe they've even sent out a survey or two. But when most people say they're doing customer research, what they really mean is one of three things. One, they're focused on the product. What features do you like? What could we improve? Two, they're talking to prospects in sales conversations, trying to get to the close. And three, maybe they're doing a version of jobs to be done. I hear about jobs to be done a lot. And so buyer journey questions, asking why someone made a switch or made a decision to buy. And listen, all of that is useful, but it's also limited. You're either in pitch mode, in product feedback mode, or maybe you've scratched the surface on buyer journey mode. And none of those get at the real human stuff. If you're a parent or you know teachers, you might have heard the term whole child success. So I have 2 kids, plus I work with a lot of education technology startups. So I'm always hearing about this. It's this idea that academic progress is just one piece of the puzzle. You also have to think about a child's emotional, social, and physical development because it's all interconnected. And of course, that makes sense, right? So why do we ignore this when it comes to customer research? Customers are people, whole people, and that means our conversations with them need to go beyond the product, beyond the pain point, beyond the moment they decided to switch. Whole person customer research is about understanding the human behind the buyer. So it's not just what features do you like or what made you decide to buy. It's also what are their top goals right now? What's stressing them out? Why is that such a big deal for them? What excites them? What scares them? Who or what do they go to when they're feeling stuck? Who else is part of conversations they're having? What makes them feel seen or valued? What podcasts are they listening to? What influencers do they follow? What kind of content do they seek out? What content actually moves them? So these are questions that go beyond your product and sales motions. Social, emotional, behavioral. This is the stuff that builds real empathy. And when you have that, your messaging gets sharper, your differentiation becomes clearer, and your sales conversations stop feeling like guesswork. So you're getting deeper engagement with customers and prospects, increased inbound to demos, better sales conversations, increased word of mouth, and closed deals.
Hey, it's Anna, host of Building with Buyers. I started the show because I found that customers play such an important role in business growth, but they're often overlooked. We're so focused on net new. But the thing that makes you unique is not your product. There are so many companies solving the same problem, and they have customers too. The thing that makes you unique is your superfan customers. That's your moat. Most positioning and messaging is guesswork. I'm a customer insights and strategy advisor, and I help my clients by interviewing their customer superfans
and translating those insights into clear and compelling positioning and messaging that specific people care about. So you get deeper engagement with customers and prospects, increased inbound to demos, better sales conversations, increased word of mouth, and closed deals. If you're done guessing, stumbling along, and want to be more customer obsessed, reach out. I'd love to help. And now back to the episode. So let me show you the difference real quick. Surface level customer research sounds like, how did you hear about us? What features do you like? Who else needed to be part of the buying decision? Those are some examples. Whole person customer research sounds more like, what would make you feel like a superhero at work? When did you realize the old way just wasn't working for you? Walk me through that moment. Did you need to convince your boss? What other tools are you using daily? So, can you spot the difference? It's not about collecting answers. It's about unlocking insight. And so for that to happen, you need to ask questions that build social, emotional, and behavioral context. Because the truth is, if you want to drive real impact on revenue, you have to understand not just what they say, but why they behave the way they do. Why do they feel the way they do? And what else is going on behind the scenes, right? So I've always thought about this. When I ask someone questions, are they lying to me? Are they coming up with stuff, right? This is always in the back of my head. But when you start to dig and uncover these truths that end up coming out, right? Because there's nowhere else to go. They're questions that are asking the why. They're asking the person to sit for a second and think back like to those moments, to those feelings, to those behaviors. And so they're less likely to make stuff up. And so you're not getting junk data, right? The why lives in their context, their emotions, their aspirations, their fears, looking back on why they behaved in certain ways. So how do you actually do this? You start with your customer superfans, the people who already love what you do. You book time with them. It's actually not as hard as people think it is. I just finished an hour and a half customer interview. It was supposed to be 45 minutes, but it ended up going longer because people really love to have these conversations. They want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. And these conversations are not to pitch. It's not to probe about product features, but to truly understand them. And that's why they're so important. I use a really specific script. It's specific enough, but of course I go off on tangents depending on where the conversation goes. But the specific script helps me with a starting point. It helps me uncover this stuff, and it's available on my website, actually, if you want to check it out. I'll link that in the show notes. So you're asking about their goals, their daily work, their mental load. You dig into the moments before they found your product, when they became aware of the problem, what they did to try and fix it, what else they tried, where they looked, etc. You ask about their content consumption habits, who they trust and why, who they don't trust and why. And then you listen. You really listen. This kind of research isn't just helpful, it's strategic. It shapes everything from your homepage copy to your outbound sales messaging to your marketing strategy and even to your product roadmap. So, for example, sometimes I learn behind the scenes how people are sharing about a product, and then we can talk about that with the marketing team, with the founders. How can we make that sharing even easier on the product side? So that's just one example. So here's the big takeaway. Your customers are whole people. If you want to resonate, if you want to craft messaging that converts, if you want to build momentum that lasts beyond a quarter, then you need to start with whole person customer research. Whole person customer research, that's how you go from insights to impact. Thanks for hanging with me today. If this resonated, shoot me a message. Let me know. I want to do more of these solo episodes. I'd love to hear what you're uncovering in your customer conversations. And if you know someone who's stuck with their positioning and messaging, please share this episode with them. I'll see you next time on Building with Buyers. Peace and love. Thanks for listening to this episode of Building with Buyers. New episodes drop weekly, so make sure you're following wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on LinkedIn, Anna Furmanov. Visit my website to learn more about how to turn customer insights into positioning and messaging your buyers will understand, furmanovmarketing.com. And don't forget to leave a review if you're loving the show.